Good morning, good afternoon, and good day, and welcome back to the Parc'd podcast by Parc'd. It is episode 8 today. Is there anything exciting for number 8? 1, 2, 3, 4.
8 is made.
6.
Shrink.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my god, no, 8 is perfect because the Monaco EP was the 8th Formula E race of the season. Just stabbed myself with that with my nail. That really hurt. As you can see, CHELLE is still NFI.
I think it's lost somewhere because it has been sent. It's been ordered, but isn't here yet. So I think it might be lost in the post somewhere.
Also, it wasn't just Monaco's round out 8. Technically, it was the 8th time we've heard it's lights out and away we go, because it's been 2 sprint races. So there's 8 races.
Lots of 8s.
Right. Let's throw in a little quiz then. Do you know who's got driver number 8?
In what? In which? What,
Formula 1.
Formula 1?
Yes, because there is a Formula 1 driver that has number 8. He is
someone
currently still driving. Not in Formula 1, but he is still driving.
But 8? I know who it is in Formula E.
Yeah? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I know who it is in Formula E. Formula 1.
He's been on the grid a few years ago, so he's quite recently gone out of F1.
What do you consider
He's been
a few years ago?
I think it is 3 years now? 2, 3? Might be off a year, but I think 3 years. He's currently racing in America.
Oh my god.
With his... Yes! Romain Grosjean.
Oh.
I was trying to think. I was like, who's racing in America? Oh,
No,
the fire.
I had the realization because he's on the Le Mans and list thing that came out yesterday. Racing at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. We'll get onto that later. Well, yeah, Celeste, do you know who driver number 8 is in Formula E?
I will very honestly say no.
It is actually a
numbers is
driver. It is actually a driver who didn't compete in Monaco this weekend, not the other weekend.
Is it one of the new?
No, he didn't compete in Monaco.
Is it Sam?
It is in fact Sam Bird.
Sam Bird. I was like, who didn't compete? Because I was like, there was no backlash. I was like, that's this week.
The reason I know Sam Bird is number 8 because I like it when drivers have numbers in their names. So you know how like Carlos Sainz has 55, Carlos the 5. And
Yeah, the
5,
logo thingies.
Yeah. Well, he's Sam Bird and he uses the 8 as the B.
Well, do you want to know something even more funny? We might be on another conspiracy theory here.
Oh no.
Sam Bird is currently also 8th in the championship.
Oh no. Not for long, because he's not racing
seeing a lot of 8
this weekend.
Oh, poor Sam.
I know. Yeah, Sam Bird is number 8, by the way. I double checked it. Sam Bird's 8 and Jake Hughes is 5. Because Sam Bird used to be number 5 way back.
Way back, what?
I think it might have actually... No, I can't remember now when he was last number 5. But yes, Monaco E-Prix. We're about 2 weekends out because obviously it wasn't last weekend, it was the weekend before was the Monaco E-Prix. And as we said, Sam Bird did not compete at Monaco. He fractured his hand.
Yeah, he's refractured the bone that he did in London 2 years ago.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, he put an Instagram story up and he was like, "Oh, it's the same like bone in his hand that he did 2 years ago. It's just refractured."
Yeah, did that in
which is understandable.
free practice 1. Yeah, free practice 1.
Yeah, I think so.
And had to be replaced by Formula 2 driver Taylor Bernard. He is the McLaren reserve driver for Formula E and has now stepped foot into the car. He finished 14th in Monaco, Taylor Bernard, which I think is pretty decent. Finished ahead of his teammate, Jake Hughes. Finished P16.
Not bad.
I think Taylor made a pretty good debut.
Especially in Monaco, like
Yeah,
knowing
all
Monaco
races.
and like Monaco is not an easy track. There's so many weird corners. Obviously, a very narrow. Like you have street circuits are narrow anyways, but I think Monaco is even more like narrow. So I think to just have a clean race, keep the car out of the walls. Really good.
And especially with how I'd say quite intense Formula E is, in the sense that he would have rocked up, had one practice session in the car, a little break, and then had to do his first ever Formula E qualifying, and then a quick break where he had to go and meet all the fans, and then hop in the car, all in the space of a day. In less than 12 hours, he had to do 3 sessions, including a race at Monaco.
Yeah.
And
no, crazy. I think he did very well.
He did a fantastic job. Very, very impressed. I didn't get to watch practice or qualifying, so I don't know if anything happened that noticeable. Notable, even.
I watched the highlights, so I didn't really watch it. But Pascal Wehrlein taking pole position, he was quick, very quick. From the groups on, he was just spot on. So that was cool to see after Massano, after his race win there again, and then coming back so strong in Monaco. I'm really interested to see what he'll do in Berlin, because if he can keep this going, this momentum, this strong pace in both quali and races, he can win a championship.
We're not talking about that again. That was pain last year. I'm not doing that again.
It's actually very, very tight at the top. You've got Pascal Wehrlein's leading the championship on 102. Nick Cassidy is P2 with 95 points. If Nick Cassidy hadn't have retired in 2 races, he would probably be running away with it right now. He had a P3 in Mexico, a P3 in Diriyah, and then a race win in Diriyah, and then a P3 in Misano, and second at Monaco. Finished second in the race. And then 2 retirements in an 8th place. Which is a very, very impressive...
Oh, definitely.
Result for the year so far. But behind Nick Cassidy is Jake Dennis on 89 points. And Oliver Rowland, who after Misano round 1 was leading the championship, is now 4th on 88 points, only 1 point behind the reigning Formula E World Champion. And then Mitch Evans is actually sneaking up behind quickly. He's on 77 points. And then P6 and P7 in Maxi Gunther and John-Eric Byrne are both on 65 points.
I love a championship where you're sitting there and going into the latter stages of the calendar with 6 people to
all
play.
being open.
Oh yeah,
as long as I don't have
still
any chance
to play for
this year. As long as in London I don't have to do any chance, I don't care.
Oh god, not the chance.
It's like a fever dream, honestly.
Oh my god. If you haven't seen that, it's in our London vlogs, but oh my god. Crazy.
I think my most memorable part and the bit that made me so happy and so excited this weekend was that Jaguar 1-2. How iconic is it of a team to finish first and second at Monaco when neither driver started on pole position? And the guy that started on pole position didn't DNF. He was still very much in for it to play for.
Absolutely. Especially for Mitch. I mean, if we talk about Formula E Monaco, a lot of people think Mitch Evans. He's been a king on those streets, but he's never won the Monaco E-Prix. So to see him actually win that Monaco Grand Prix, E-Prix even, incredible. Really loved it.
Yeah, Mitch took P1. His teammate Nick Cassidy in P2 took fastest lap. So they had a very, very successful race. And joining them on the podium was one and only Stoffel van Dorn.
Look at that.
I am so happy to see that man finally back up there. He is the 2022 Formula E World Champion. The 21 to 22 race season. I remember because I gave him a plant that said World Champion on it before he'd won the World Championship. And he was like, "Ben, I've jinxed it." I was like, "I haven't. I'm just telling you the truth." Because London wasn't the finale that year. They
No.
still had Sao Paulo. Not Sao Paulo.
Oh,
Seoul. They still had Seoul. Oh, God.
opposite end of the world.
Complete other side.
It's okay.
But Stoff's had a very, very bumpy time. Actually, I remember it being a very, very good race.
A lot of front wings that got everywhere. A lot of pit stops because of that. Mortara went in the wall quite hard.
It's the same
Is
bit
he the
around
one?
there.
Is he the one that Jake Hughes pushed him into?
Yeah. Well, that's on debate, but yes. I think. Or was it? No, I think it was Jake and Edo.
Yeah, I know Jake
but-
Hughes like pushed somebody into a wall and then rear-ended an ERT for funsies.
There might have been
Like chaos.
Jake Dennis front wing situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Jake Hughes was involved in that as well.
Forget McLaren, it's McChaos.
Yeah.
The new name.
Yeah.
Jake Hughes from McChaos.
Chaos.
Did we? I'm seeing if there's because Edo retired and Nico Muller retired as well.
Yeah, I think Nico Muller was a front wing situation as well. There was a lot of wings flying around and debris and all kinds of
I can tell
stuff.
you whose wings weren't flying. Sam Bird's.
Wow. But guys, I think this is the end of the podcast. This is taking this stuff too far. Too far.
That was a good one. Come on, a minute. See, Katie's laughing.
Oh god.
Get it? Because he's Sam Bird and Bird's.
No, don't explain it. Don't explain it. Don't make it worse.
But
Don't
he
make it
had to
worse.
withdraw from the race weekend, so he definitely weren't flying. He was
Okay.
he
Yeah.
had a broken wing.
Mhm. Oh god.
Berlin. Sam Bird won't be in Berlin this weekend. He might be in Berlin. He's not racing in Berlin. He could be in Berlin. I don't know what Sam Bird gets up to in his time. He might come to support the team.
He's not going to fly to get a plane. He can't fly himself there.
Oh my god. Damn.
We're gonna walk down this pit lane if he is there and he's signing things with his broken hand. We're gonna walk down, just look at each other. All three of us
Yeah.
look at each other,
Yep.
look at him, and just laugh.
Oh god.
Sam Bird will not be racing in Berlin. Taylor Bernard will be racing, because obviously he's got a fractured hand. And yes, before you ask, that is Sam Bird with a fractured hand who races with McLaren. It's okay. His seat is secure. He's fine. I just had to make sure.
Anyway.
Make sure people were aware Sam Bird is safe. We also have a lot of driver changes.
Yes.
We have Jordan King will be filling in this weekend for Nick de Vries. That is because the 6 hours of Spa is on this weekend as well. Because for some reason, who do we blame? Is it Wex?
The Belgian.
Is it Wex's fault? I think it's Wex's fault.
It's definitely Wax's fault because Spa's calendar is filled up with 24-hour race and other races, so they only had this spot to get the 6 hours in.
So
I don't understand how
Wex
big
done-
championships leave it so late.
Mhm.
Like, obviously it's not late, but I was saying to you the other day about touring cars. Touring cars have literally had one race weekend, so one round out of like the 8 rounds I think there is. They've had one round and they've confirmed their calendar for the 2025 season.
Mhm.
So all of next year has been planned out already. Like I have the
Yeah.
dates, I know when the touring cars is on already, and that's a British-based championship, not a world-based championship.
I'm going to say Formula E have already announced Monaco for next year.
We've got to get it in early.
Well, I don't know why Wex done this, but 6 hours is on. There are 6 drivers on the Formula E grid who compete in the World Endurance Championship. 4 of them will be in WEC. 2 of them will be at Formula E. Nominations at Formula E this weekend, and so is... Oh no, 3 of them are. Is there an extra... driver. No, must have missed a driver. Oh my god, it was John-Eric Bell. I'm so sorry, Jeff.
No.
There are 7 Formula E drivers who compete in WEC. Sorry, Jeff.
What is it with Jeff just being attacked this podcast?
Yeah, literally.
I'm so sorry, Jevykins. No! I've lied. There's 8 drivers. Oh my god.
Oh my god. 8.
I forgot.
This is what I'm telling you.
I forgot.
I don't know what 8 means, but
I forgot
it's
Stoffel
something.
Van Dorn as well. I'm so sorry. Stoff, I love you. It's the
That's the
Peugeot.
team, mate.
Okay. Peugeot is just... Okay. There are 8 WEC drivers that also compete in Formula E. 8 Formula E drivers that compete in WEC, right? Norminato, Stoffel Van Dorn, Jean-Eric Verne, and Edo Mortara will be in Formula E this weekend in Berlin. Robin Freins, Sebastian Buemi, Nico Müller, and Nick de Vries will be in WEC instead, the 6 hours of Spa. So there has to be some replacements. DS Penske are not losing their drivers, either drivers. Envision are in fact losing both their drivers. So Envision will have a whole new lineup this weekend. I believe it's Paul Aaron is filling it in for Robin Freins, and Joel Eriksson is filling in for Sebastian Buemi, but off the top of my head,
Other way around.
Is it the other way around?
Other way around. Yeah.
Okay, Joel Eriksson is filling in for Robin Freins, and Paul Aaron is filling in for Sebastian Buemi. Ironic. We're not going to dive into that. Both of you two keep your minds out the gutter. Okay. So Envision will have a whole new lineup. Sebastian Buemi and Robin Freins will be in Berlin on the Sunday because Spa is a Saturday race. So if you see them there, that's why they're there. And then you have Kelvin van der Linde will be replacing Nico Müller at Cupra, right? Do you want to know what I find weird about this? Kelvin van der Linde races in WEC.
I thought that. I thought when you said his name, I was like, I could have sworn that name is a WEC name. Like,
yeah.
It's probably like contract issues, maybe, that I don't know what he signed Formula E wise and WEC wise, but.
Well, he's races with in WEC, I believe.
Yeah.
So in Formula E have taken Kelvin van der Linde out of in WEC and put him into Formula E to replace the driver that's going out of Formula E to race in WEC. Not for the same team. And Jordan King will be returning behind the wheel to replace Nick de Vries this weekend. So there's lots going on. Did actually say that Nico Müller will be at Formula E this weekend on the Sunday as well, and they will actually have all 5 of their drivers at the driver signing on the Sunday. Because if you may be thinking, Alice, 5, why the fuck is there 5? Because guys, it's the rookie test. Are you excited for the rookie test?
Very.
I'm excited for the rookie test. I need to get the rookie test people up.
I've been given a list of driver's cards that I need to get from the rookie test.
Is that from your
From my
child?
sister. Yes. She sat there and she was like, there's like a rookie test. And she was like, okay, that's nice. I was like, do you want me to get you any cards? Like driver's cards? She was like, any if you want. She was like, who's there? And I was like, Paul Aaron. She was like, yeah, I'll take his card. I was like, Taylor Bernard. She was like, yeah, I'll take his. And she went, do you know what? She said, I'm so disappointed. She said, I really, really wish that I could meet Robert Schwartzman. And I was like, I'll get you his driver card. And she was like, the fuck do you mean? I was like, he's doing the rookie test. And she was like, that's it. I'm done. I hate my exams.
He's always at Formula E now, so he'll probably be there at London. So starting out, we started with at Cupra, so we'll give you at Cupra. They have Tim Chamnitz, who is a Formula 3 driver, and did he go to Formula 3? Yes, Tim Chamnitz is in Formula 3. Is he?
Do you want me to look at?
99.9. Yeah, he didn't go up to F2. He's in F3. Yep, Tim Chamnitz F3. Sorry, this whole Kimi Antonelli jumping F3 thing's really messed my brain because there's another driver who also jumped it. Tim Tramnitz's F3 driver is with at Cupra, along with Riccardo Fella, who is a DTM driver. Am I correct in saying that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Okay. Andretti have the typical suspect of Zane Maloney. I'd be shocked if they didn't have Zane Maloney there. And that's also joined by Jack Crawford, so they've got a double F2 driver lineup. DS Penske has Robert Schwartzman. He is a WEC driver with AF Corsa. That actually won the... what is it called? They have like a secondary podium in WEC for like the customer teams. I can't think what it's called. But they won that last weekend. Not last weekend, the last race weekend, Imola. Robert Schwartzman is joined by Johnny Edgar. Envision, you've got the absolute queen, the icon, the legend. She is everything. She is wonderful and perfect and just incredible. It's Alice Powell. Sorry, women in motorsport, slay. And Alice Powell is just a fucking icon. If you don't think Alice Powell is an icon, then get out of here.
Pretty sweet.
Huh?
She was really sweet when I met her.
Angel. She's joined by Dries Van Voor. Is that how it's pronounced, Celeste?
Yeah.
Cool.
Ish.
It's enough.
It's good enough.
Go on, pronounce it then.
Dries Van Voor.
Yeah, well, my mouth don't move like that. Oh no, this is where I'm going to need Katie's corrections probably. You've got ERT. We have Mikel Azcona.
I think so. Hang on.
It's Spanish.
Yeah. Mikel Azcona.
Thank you. And Marta Garcia. The absolute icon that is Marta Garcia, Formula One Academy champion, Freca driver, living legend, queen.
I forget that he does that, doesn't he?
He does what?
The Mikel Azcona is touring cars. He does the world touring cars.
Nice. Yeah, in the Jaguar, we've got the other Van der Linde, Sheldon. And he's joined by F2 driver Enzo Fittipaldi. One of the many Fittipaldis. Mahindra are running their reserve driver Kushmani, and also someone who I'm very excited to see, Frederick Vesti. Love Fred Vesti. Maserati have got Nico Pino and Felipe Drugovic, F2 champion of 2022. I have to think about that for a second. McLaren are running Ugo Ugochukwu and Gregoire Saucy. Nissan have Kai Calais and Gabriel Mini, an F2 driver and F3. Gabriel Mini's F3, isn't he still?
Yes.
Cool. And then Porsche have F2 driver Dennis Hauger and Thomas Preening. That's who's running the Berlin rookie tests. The Berlin rookie test is always so interesting. Because like teams and stuff that are normally like at the top are normally like towards the bottom. So F1 Academy headed over to Miami this weekend, just gone. And we had a very, very, very dominant weekend. And our girl is just pulling away with the title at the moment.
Jesus Christ. I thought we were past this after some bird at Avi, but okay.
Avi Pulling is top of the championship standing after getting pole position in race 1 and race 2, going from lights to flag to win both races, and she took fastest lap in race 2, almost a complete little clean sweep there, except Bianca Bustamante took the fastest lap in race 1. So was anything that stopped her from getting pole win fastest lap each race. There was a lot of good racing. She was joined by Dorian Pan forget she's now taught us how to say her name. She finished P2 in race 1 and P3 in race 2. And Chloe Chambers managed to fight her way up the grid in race 1 to finish P3. They have been labelling it as Haas's first ever podium. I'm gonna need these people to put some respect on Louis Delatar's name, because that man was fighting in that F2 car representing Haas. All the branding, the logoing and everything. And for what? For what? Just
to be forgotten about.
Thrown to the side, doesn't exist anymore. Poor man. He fought for that, but Chloe Chambers deserves to be standing up on that podium. She's an icon. She's actually a bloody legend. She's a good little driver. She deserves to have some like spotlight on her. So I was really, really happy to see her on the podium. Tina Hausman retired from the race. She was the only retirement all weekend. There were 2 retirements all weekend.
They were both hurt.
Yeah.
Oh.
She didn't have a very good weekend at all. Yeah. There is another driver who didn't have a very good weekend. That was Lola Lovenfoss. She took P10 in race 1 with 1 point. Finished P2 and 15th after a collision. And after the collision, she was taken to hospital to be checked over and has found out that she has, in fact, fractured her hand.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God.
So I'm guessing they're hoping she's going to be in the car for, obviously, the next race. They've got a while. It's Barcelona, which isn't until mid-June, I believe. End of June. It's after Le Mans, I know that much. So she's got some time to heal it out, but hopefully, fingers crossed, she'll be feeling better for that. And then another driver this weekend who I think deserves a little bit of the spotlight is Leah Block. This is 2024 is her first year in single seaters. She did Formula Winter Series at the beginning of the year. That was her first kind of dabble in in single seaters after making the move from rally. She did 3 rounds of that out of the 4 rounds, and now she's doing F1 Academy. And she has received her fair share of bad luck in F1 Academy. Every single issue that she's basically had in F1 Academy has been of no fault of her own. And she actually finished the race in P11, so just outside of the points for race 2. And Emily De Hoos received a penalty. I can't remember what penalty it was now off the top of my head, but she received a penalty and dropped out of the points, and thus put Leah Block to receive her first point in F1 Academy, which I think is bloody iconic. She deserves it. It's so good that her first F1 Academy point as well is on home soil. She's an American gal getting her points in Miami, as she fucking should. Another little fun mention, I think, as well. As we said earlier, Bianca Bustamante took the fastest lap in race 1, but she also defended against Dorian Pan enough in race 2 to take 2nd place on the podium, and it was bloody iconic. I've never seen someone so happy to be stood on a podium as I did that woman that day. Like, she was jumping, leaping, she was everywhere, smiling. She was just, I felt very, very happy for her. I can't remember when her last podium was before that.
Monza, maybe?
Potentially.
She had a podium after.
I can't remember. The Alcobacy sisters both had great weekends, both in the points. Yeah. They were both very, very eventful races. They weren't as eventful as I think some in the future will be. Miami's just a very, very difficult track. Especially for those cars, I think. They can't do much, As I said, Abby Pulling is in fact running away with the championship right now. With a P2 in race 1 in Jeddah, and then a win in her last 3 races. So race 2 of Jeddah, race 1 of Miami, race 2 of Miami. She's currently sat on 99 points. 2 fastest laps, 2 pole positions, 3 wins, and 1 second place. It's an insane statistic there. Yep, 1 point out from 100 points. You got Dorian Pan, who is sat behind her on 65 points, and then Maya Puig is P3 with 51 points after getting P6 and P5 in Miami. Anything else anyone would like to add on F1 Academy?
I haven't seen it, to be honest. Just watched the highlights quickly, but...
It was a pretty good race. Though I feel like they could have been more, but I think it's just Miami as a track in general.
Yeah,
The cars.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Lando Norris.
By my statistics, we will have a different race winner at the Canadian Grand Prix.
Your statistics?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Winning driver in race 1, Max Verstappen. Winning driver in race 2, Max Verstappen. Winning driver in race 3, Carlos Sainz. Winning driver in race 4, Max Verstappen. Winning driver in race 5, Max Verstappen. Winning driver in race 6, Lando Norris. Thus, statistically, Max Verstappen will win race 7 and race 8. And a new driver will win in race 9. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. By my calculations, it's going to be an Aston Martin or a Mercedes. Curveball, it's Logan Sargent.
I can't win in America, you're winning Canada instead.
Oh god.
Technically, statistically, it could be Charles Leclerc, it could be a Ferrari, and then Oscar Piastri would be the driver who wins in the Great British Grand Prix. I feel like we have to call it the Grand Prix.
Ferrari.
We have to call it the Grand Prix this podcast because we're in America. What the fuck? It's a kilometer.
Eagle screech.
The thing I love about this, right, is I make that joke all the time, right? That what the fuck is a kilometer?
Yeah, you don't know kilometers.
Because the joke is obviously that America uses miles, right? And I just love the fact that everyone like always thinks I'm so comedic when I say it, like my European friends, until they find out the fact that we don't use kilometers either.
I feel like the
bad.
UK, I feel like England and Great Britain to keep very quiet about the fact that we use miles. They let all the slander America, and we're just sat here like.
But I feel like the fact is that like we can pretty easily establish what a kilometer is because
have your cup of tea.
Our friends from across the pond use kilometers, so I feel like we're like slightly adapted.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I get it. One thing us in the USA can find together is miles. What the fuck is a kilometer?
Right. First things first, the F1.
I'm the realist.
Okay. Ferrari race suit. Chef's kiss. Ferrari race car.
We don't talk about it.
They had such an opportunity. And they took a leaf out of Red Bull's book.
I do not want to talk about it.
I don't know what it was. They had such an opportunity. But yeah, it was wasn't a nice car to look at.
I'll tell you what was a nice car to look at, the V-Carb.
Yes, I have to agree. That looks very cool.
Do you know what else I thought was really nice to look at?
Charles Leclerc?
No, I'm not a whore. I was going to say the podium hats.
Oh, the podium hats were stunning. I want one. I want one.
I feel like Celeste's accidentally been silenced.
I'm not making any comments.
All I'm saying is
Before Christian Horner comes for me.
Charles Leclerc should get a mullet.
No.
Mullet
It's getting
no.
exactly. Oh my god. While on the conversation of Charles Leclerc, have we all seen who his VIP guest was in the Miami paddock?
That is the cutest thing ever.
Have you not seen Charles Leclerc's VIP guest, Katie Foreman?
Was it your puppy?
Look
you
at
not
his
seen the
Instagram.
photos?
Go look at his
Look at the
Instagram right now.
photos.
So this weekend was the second out of 6 sprint weekends that are on the calendar this year. Yeah, I think China was last weekend, like the last weekend before, wasn't it? It was China then Miami. So it's been 2 sprint weekends back to back.
Yay. What an excitement.
Which meant
Sprint
that
weekends.
there was only 1 free practice session. They still had the same amount of sessions as they would on a normal weekend, but there was only 1 designated free practice session. Celeste, would you like to tell us the main thing that happened at FP1?
So I didn't watch FP1. But I did see some things go around my Instagram at the time FP1 was going on. And all I've seen, and the only thing I've seen, was Charles taking his Ferrari for a spin. Quite literally.
So he bounced over the curbs while exiting turn 16 and basically parked it sideways underneath the bridge. Like they have like the overpass with like the main roads going over the track. So technically it was like a bridge section, but so he was underneath that. He avoided the barriers, didn't put in the barriers at all, but just parked right in the middle of the circuit. Mm-hmm. He blocked future teammate Lewis Hamilton and a bunch of other drivers. Like he was in the way for them, so that caused a little bit of carnage. But I think it was his rear brakes. Hang on. Well, something started overheating in the Ferrari, so he
Ferrari.
He got out, red flags. Marshall had to come on circuit to get the car off. But I believe that was the only drama of FP1. At the halfway mark, Ferrari of Carlos Sainz was in the lead, which was interesting. One car had spun and basically retired from the session. The other car was leading. Max Verstappen had a lock-up at turn 17, which meant that he was right at the bottom of the timesheet. Which, oh no. Our table, it's broken. But then it was Max Verstappen, yes?
I have a question regarding Charles Leclerc's spin.
Oh no.
Would you say the Ferrari with that spin has now just lost all of its sauce? You know, like, she was serving, she was slaying, she had the sauce, she span out, sauceless now.
Yeah, yes.
What? I'm confused.
Just think about who their new sponsor is.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ.
That's the one.
It's a computer brand, not the bloody brown sauce brand.
I know, but I didn't know how to make it sound like the car had turned into a printer.
More like a fax machine. We don't use them anymore.
I want to bash this
Slow
car
and
so
steady
much because your
with
driver is
voice.
driving in it next year.
Yeah.
You're laughing now, but you'll be crying next year when they pull this shit.
No, when Adrian Newey's there next year, I won't be miserable.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, Verstappen eventually topped FP1 as he was bound to do.
It'd be such a shame if he managed to top every session of the weekend this weekend.
Oh, I know, imagine. Such a boring race weekend. Alex Albon finished in 14th. He had a very sketchy moment through turn 4. And McLaren's Lando Norris. So just remember Lando Norris, okay? For a little bit later on when I'm explaining. Just remember his...
It's a bit difficult to forget Lando Norris. He live on his stream, joined me in a COD game and said, "Do you want to play?" And I didn't realise he was streaming and said yes. And then someone texted me saying, "There's 20,000 people watching you play COD with Lando Norris right now." And then I had a panic attack and went dead silent. And then he helped pay my bills for 8 months. So thank you, Lando Norris, for subscribing to the Morales Twitch channel for 8 months.
I killed Lando in COD and I told him to fuck off, and then he told me to fuck off.
As he should.
Great success.
Great success.
But McLaren had a lot of upgrades. They had their first major upgrade package.
I can tell.
Yeah.
It would be such a shame if a man dressed in blue randomly decided to commit heinous hate crimes on the other McLaren member throughout the entirety of the race. Carry on.
But yeah, so they had 10 new parts on the car. So FP1, Lando only finished in 16th because he was battling, in McLaren's words, an asymmetric power steering assistance issue. So they put all the new parts on and basically hadn't sorted their shit out yet. Yet, we say. Sprint quali. Any guesses on who got pole for the sprint quali? I'll give you 100 guesses. Well, actually, no, I'll give you 3 guesses.
Logan Sargent.
No.
Kevin Magnussen.
No.
Oh damn! Come on, we have 1 guess left, Alice.
Oh.
Nico Hulkenberg. Has to be.
And yeah, see, I was either leaning towards Nico Hulkenberg or like Romain Grosjean, maybe.
Well, that'd be a stunt.
I can tell you're both very wrong. It was
No.
Max Verstappen.
Oh, I'm sorry, we could have never guessed that. No, never in a million
question
years.
You could have asked her. That's
Yeah, I would have never got that
bad
right.
as the karting questions back in the day.
Yeah, that was very hard. Yeah. In SQ, so obviously it's the same as normal quali. There's 3 sets of qualifying for the sprint race. It's just a different amount of time that they have. I think it's like 12 minutes, 10 minutes, and then 8 minutes for SQ3, whereas normal quali has 15, 12, 10.
I don't really pay attention to the time. In my eyes, the first like portion of it is like TikTok time, and then I look up at the screen and go, "Oh, 3 minutes left. That means people are going to go out in the final lap soon. Yay!"
Yeah. Okay. So in SQ3, everyone opted to go for just 1 flying lap. Track was too hot, so there was no point in wasting the tyres.
I can tell you why the track was too hot.
Why?
James Charles was there that weekend.
Hi, sisters.
Hi, sisters.
So yeah, Max Verstappen went quickest with a 1:27.64. And he was joined on the front row by Charles Leclerc.
Hi, King.
Was 0.1 seconds behind. Perez filled in 3rd, and surprisingly, the surprising top 5, I think, was Daniel Ricciardo. Carlos Sainz finished 5th, followed by the 2 McLarens, the 2 Aston Martins, and the Haas of Nico Hulkenberg rounded out the top 10.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. An Alpine made it into SQ2. Wasn't the Alpine I wanted, but it was an Alpine nonetheless. Esteban Ocon finished 13th. Pierre Gasly finished in 16th. Technically finished in 17th, but got promoted because Alex Albon finished in 16th, but got demoted to the back of the grid for lap time being deleted for track limits. So, yeah. But it didn't matter because we got to the sprint race and Valtteri Bottas had to start at the back of the grid as a result of a 3-place grid penalty because he impeded Oscar Piastri in qualifying. And Alex Albon had to start from the pit lane because he had changes done to his suspension under parc fermé conditions. Funny enough, the person who qualified in pole won the race. Surprise, surprise.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a lights to flag win. He just dominated, basically.
I love how these sprint races are really working here. I love it.
There was drama on the first lap between 2 teammates and 2 ex-teammates who then took out one of the person's little protege person from back in the day. So Alonso, Stroll and Hamilton all basically had a little bit of a fight on track, like scuttling for positions, and as a result Lance Stroll couldn't stop his Aston Martin from crashing into an innocent little Lando Norris. She was doing nothing but just driving and got collected and had to retire the car because of damage. That caused a safety car on the first lap, might have been the second lap, but right towards the start. But yeah, Max Verstappen then just flew away after the safety car period ended and basically was just seeing clear road ahead of him for the rest of the race. He was followed by Charles Leclerc in P2 and Sergio Perez in P3.
Was it the sprint race where Kevin Magnussen got all and every single penalty there was in life? Because I didn't watch it, but I had like notifications on my Apple Watch from Twitter, and it was like Kevin Magnussen this, Kevin Magnussen that. I was like, what is going on in this race?
He decided to choose violence, and then Lewis Hamilton was asked about it in the media pen afterwards, and he laughed and basically said, "Yeah, go for it, mate. Fantastic." And he thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Drama.
And then one thing to note from the start, before the race, before they'd even made their way onto the grid to sort of, when they do it, but they let all of the VIPs and other onto the grid before the formation lap, Charles Leclerc and Esteban Ocon had an unusual incident while leaving the pit lane with the Alpine driver who was unsafely released into the path of Leclerc, and he was forced to change his front wing for a new one and received a 10-second time penalty before the race had even started.
Jesus.
Sounds about right for an Alpine. So now we're on normal qualifying. So we've had our sprint qualifying, we've had our sprint race, and then I think it's only like sort of like 2 hours or something stupid after the sprint race they have qualifying.
Yeah.
It's basically it's something that like it's a really short amount of time. So basically, if you mess up your car too much in sprint quali, you got no chance. Well, sprint race, you got no chance in quali. And surprise, surprise, Max Verstappen, 7th consecutive pole position.
My God.
This season, he set a time of 1:27.24. And he did that in one of the first runs of Q3 and didn't improve on his last flying lap, but no one else could improve on the time either. So, pole position.
Can you tell us all what his radio was? Max Verstappen's radio was after he took pole position. Was that
no?
He took pole position?
I can't tell you that. I don't think so.
His team radio, when he was told he was on pole, after not being able to set that last flying lap, was "lol."
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I think lol.
When I tell you, Miami has almost slightly turned me into a Max Verstappen fan, just from the shit that's been coming out of his mouth all weekend. I'm like, wow, you're actually really fucking funny. Like,
the post
really funny.
If
my mother had my balls, and my balls, if my mum had balls, she'd be my dad. Oh, what?
He's so fed up with the stupid media questions, and I don't blame him.
But he was joined on the front row again by Charles Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz was in third. Sergio Perez sealed the sandwich. I call it a sandwich because you had Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull in P4, and they were followed by the McLaren pair of Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri in 5th and 6th. And then the 4th row was the 2 Mercedes of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. So the top 8 was just 4 teams. Nico Hülkenberg finished.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yuki Tsunoda finished quali in P10. But can I have a drum roll, please? For the first time this season, Pierre Gasly made it out of Q1.
Let's go! Pierre Gasly!
Admittedly, you couldn't get out of Q2, but it's an improvement.
We're getting somewhere.
Love to see it.
Positive thinking.
It was having Travis Kelce all up in his grill. He was doing it for Travis Kelce.
He was definitely. Finished in 12th, which is respectable. It's respectable. It was just really annoying because he was behind Lance Stroll, and that's always a scary thing if you're anywhere near Lance Stroll. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo, after coming 4th in quali and then 4th, I think, in the sprint race, was knocked out in Q1 in P18. So something big happened there.
Yeah, I don't know how it went so backwards, really.
It reminds me sometimes a bit of the Lando Norris quote, where it's like, "Are you okay? Is anything damaged?" And he's like, "Talent." Nothing's wrong with the car, just talent.
Just talent.
And then, guys, the race.
Yeah, I fell asleep. It was really, really boring. Like, nothing exciting happened. It was the same old as every weekend. Max
Verstappen didn't win.
That's one thing. But then who did win?
He topped FP1. He topped sprint quali. He topped the sprint race. He topped quali. Couldn't top the race. That was by the one, the only, for the first time in his career, McLaren's Lando Norris won the Miami Grand Prix.
Let's go!
Slay.
Let's go, Lando. Lando is okay. Let's go,
Lando.
Lando.
He is
He stay.
Let's go, Lando.
He's one of us.
He races like
Like a lion, shouldn't he be Dutch?
No, he shouldn't be Dutch. He's one of us. One of us.
He loves the Dutch. He's
One.
partying with us all weekend long.
At one point it did look like he was not going. I thought he was going to get caught. But yeah, Max Verstappen started on pole, went off into the lead. But to be fair, he went off, but he didn't get sort of any further than 2 or 3 seconds ahead. Was it Oscar Piastri in P2?
When? Max? Yeah.
Yeah, it was the start, yeah, because it was only like 2 seconds I think he made it up to. The pace on the Red Bull in the race was shocking. Absolutely.
We love to see it.
Shocking. So it was getting to sort of like... Yeah, true. But it was getting to like lap 20 and they were already saying Lando Norris is going like his lap times was so much quicker than everybody else. They were already saying it. They were like, oh, like his lap time is like 2 or 3 seconds per lap, like faster. So it was always sort of coming. And then, funny enough, Kevin Magnussen decided, I'm going to cause chaos. Okay? And who was the first person that he could see in his path?
So
It was
angry
only
about
local
this.
boy, local boy Logan Sargent. The only victory of the race was the Logan.
I was graced today with hearing Logan Sargent's video message after the incident, and when I tell you, I have never sobbed at a radio before in my life until this one. That man was practically having a panic attack in that car. And he was having a panic attack because he just kept asking, was it my fault? Can you check? Did I do something wrong? What could I have done differently? The stress levels that guy must be under right now, because people are always speculating that he's going to be dropped by the next race. He's going to lose his seat next race. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. When, for the most part, everything that's happened to him this season has been completely out of his hands.
Yep.
Like, he finished P10 in the sprint. He can do well. So, fuck the Hasses. You pissed me off this weekend, but thank you, Hasses. You may stay, because you have made the most eventful race weekend possible.
Yes, because after this happened, the safety car was brought out, and McLaren waited to pit Lando Norris until the safety car, and it's an undercut. He did an undercut, didn't he? Technically, they waited, and then I think he pitted, and came out before Max. So I'm pretty sure it's classed as an undercut.
Well, there was a safety car problem. The safety car, for some reason, was driving slower than the Delta.
Yeah.
And no one knows why, but by the time Lando went in and came out, because of the speed of the safety car, there was almost a point where Lando Norris could have technically been one lap ahead of the rest of the pack because of where the safety car picked up. So that was a slight problem.
So the pack bunched up. I can say that it wasn't the cleanest safety car restart from Lando Norris. It did look very... I'm pretty sure it would. Like, that's what they were saying. They
just kind of went... The safety car came in, and once safety car comes in, you can go whenever you want. So normally they come around the corner and then just, weave a bit and then shoot off, Catch him by surprise. Safety car went off. That man put his foot straight down on the fucking pedal and went, zoom. I was like, Lando, you can wait. Lando, you're allowed to wait. Lando, you don't have to go right now immediately.
I've just seen loads of things saying that it wasn't the cleanest of safety car restarts from him.
If he'd waited, then it probably would have been a bit...
Yeah.
Sorry, can you see
But it didn't matter.
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know.
Do you see that?
No.
I don't.
Peculiar.
But it didn't matter, because the pace that I was saying about on that McLaren meant that he was just pulling away and pulling away and pulling away. And it is, like I said at the start of this podcast, it's the only time I've been happy about the car in first place having an almost 8-second advantage with a P2. But finally, after 110 race starts, we've heard the words that Lando Norris is a Grand Prix winner.
I would have preferred him to have waited 5 more races, personally.
Okay.
And done it on race 115. Jenson Button took 114 races for his. So
but he
Lando's
did
beat him by 4.
He did one race better than Nico Rosberg. So Nico Rosberg was on 111. So that was the whole bet between them two, was who was gonna get it first.
Anyway, Katie, who are you going to start supporting from Imola onwards now? Because I know Norris said he was going to retire from Formula 1 after he goes race win. So
That's true.
Who's
He
going
did
to be
say that.
your second driver now for the season?
Loki Bear.
Loki Bear.
Loki Bear.
Loki
I feel so sorry for that man.
I do. I can't.
Honestly.
If you'd have told me, I would have been like a member of the Logan Sargent defense squad in 2025. Like you're having me on. No, I will defend him until I die. I am Team Logan Sargent right now.
But think after that was it. The Alpines were having a normal Alpine battle the first lap.
You forgot.
Perez.
You forgot. Max testing the car to make sure it works. He ran
Oh,
into
yeah. Sorry, yes.
Oh, yeah, he didn't like the track, I heard.
Max Verstappen wanted to test out his front wing. So he decided that corners aren't made for the Red Bull and hit a bollard.
Okay.
And took it for a little ride a couple of meters down the track. And then his response to it was, well, I cleared the way for everybody else. It meant that they can do it and there was nothing in the way. I could giggle at that. That was very good.
This is what I mean by, like, I think I like Max Verstappen more after this weekend because of the stuff he's coming out with. Like, so why did you hit the bollard? Just thought I'd test out the front wing a bit, see if it was durable. It's pretty durable. It didn't break the front wing, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Not the fuck. The fuck.
But
Also, can we touch on why the fuck Carlos Sainz hates Oscar Piastri? Like, what did Oscar Piastri do? Like, I heard probably at least 6 radios of Carlos Sainz calling about Oscar Piastri doing something.
Oh.
No, literally, every, like, 10 seconds, it was diddle-doo, and there's Carlos Sainz on the screen. You need to tell him to give me the place back or he's going to get a penalty. Diddle-doo. Have you asked for the McLaren to get a penalty yet? Diddle-doo. Can you get Oscar Piastri out of my way? He has to give me the place back. So then Oscar Piastri just gave him the place back and then overtook him immediately. And then it was, diddle-doo. You have to tell him he has to give me the place back. Like, fuck off for 2 seconds, my brother. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't deal with this. And there's Oscar Piastri just driving along, minding his business. And then, oh no, my favourite radio message of the entire weekend was obviously Carlos Sainz was trying to kill Oscar Piastri for some obscure reason, don't know why. Oscar Piastri then proceeded to get murdered by Carlos Sainz and had to drop all the way down to the back of the grid because it spun him out for no reason. And then on Oscar Piastri's pursuit for points, trudging up the order, gets into a close battle with none other than a Haas, of course. Onto the radio comes McLaren. So Oscar, we are currently leading the race. Lando is P1. We really don't need a safety car right now, so if you could please drive safely, that would be great, thank you. And Oscar's like, yeah, of course, mate, whatever. Because he decides to start battling with a Haas.
Yeah. The funniest thing is that McLaren do like a little race message on their app. Like, it's a post-race message on their app for like fans, just to say thank you, like a debrief. And the first thing Lando says was, yeah, I'd like to thank Oscar. And Oscar's face is like, the fuck did I do? To say thank you for not causing a late lap safety car.
Because honestly, like, that's so brave of Oscar to go that close to a Haas after the shenanigans they have been up to all weekend.
Wait, on the note of a Haas.
Oh no.
Guess what?
What?
Kevin Magnussen is on 10 penalty points.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
He has to just get 2 more and then it's a race ban. So
And
Kevin Magnussen
Ollie
fans...
Behrman's back in!
Yeah, exactly. Kevin Magnussen fans, welcome to being Pierre Gasly fan. Sit there for the rest of the season now.
Oh, God,
Scared
yeah.
for your life. Scared for your life. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Perez just pulled a Perez on the first lap and just went...
Sorry, it was so funny. Like, how do you almost just randomly take your teammate out unprovoked?
But it wasn't just that. It was then Carlos Sainz afterwards going, "Oh, that's not fair. That's a penalty, no?" And it's like the man locked up his brakes. He had no control where he was going.
After the race, Carlos Sainz literally said if Perez didn't do what he'd done off the start, he would have won the race. The fuck do you mean you would have won the race, Carlos? You did not have the pace. The Ferraris did not have the pace. Okay, you missed a really, 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 really important part.
What did I miss?
You know exactly what you missed.
Esteban Ocon got Alpine's first point.
Yay, Alpine!
Oh, Alpine, finally.
That's fun. I'll give you a face.
Okay.
I'll give you a face each week. Maybe we should start switching up the Celeste faces because I just use the same one.
It should be here next time we do the podcast. It should have been here by now. It should have. I don't know where it is. Playing whatever post is handling it.
Sure, if you say so.
Alright guys, thank you so much for listening to our podcast here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like to this video. We've posted a lot of vlogs recently of both Misano and Imola, so go check them out. And we're heading to Berlin this weekend, and the vlogs will be out of that too. Don't forget to check out the Instagram and the TikTok, parkfam_ on both of them. And Katie's also been working hard on the website, so make sure you check that out as well. And as always, ciao bella.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao bella.